Bob Marley One Love was also released on Valentine's Day, but that's also good because it's still Black History Month and this is a black movie. So,
Black y'all, and I'm black y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black y'all, and I'm black y'all, and I'm black y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black y'all, I'm blickety black, blacker than black, black.
Bob Marley One Love is a biographical film about the life and career of reggae singer Bob Marley. But it's not your typical biographical film. It takes place during a specific time in Bob Marley's life when he's about to release his album Exodus. But there's a lot of political chaos happening in Jamaica. And so this movie is essentially everything that leads up to him doing that peace concert in Jamaica. Now, let me just say, I'm hardly a casual listener of Bob Marley and his music. I mean, of course, I know a couple of songs here and there, like I Shot the Sheriff, Three Little Birds, and I even like some of the music that his own family has gone on to make. Like Ziggy Marley, he has this one song on the soundtrack for Muppet Treasure Island called Love Power. And of course, I'd have to give away my millennial card if I did not mention Welcome to Jamrock by Damien Jr. Kong Marley. There's even an obscure song called The Traffic Jam, which I believe has both Damian Marley and Ziggy Marley on there. Hey, if you know that song, you're a real one. So given how I know very little of music from Bob Marley and the music that his family makes, that means I know next to nothing about Bob Marley in his life. I mean, I know about his death and I know very well of the impact he has had on both the music industry and reggae music. And so I went into this movie somewhat cold, and of course I am a growing fan of Kingsley Ben-Adir, who played Malcolm X in One Night in Miami. He was one of the better parts in Marvel's Secret Invasion, and he had a small but impactful role on Barbie last year. And so when I saw that he was going to play Bob Marley in this movie, and when I saw that first trailer, I was like, perfect. Now that I've seen the movie, how do I feel? I thought this was an excellent film. Because, like I said, this really isn't your typical biographical film. Like, they don't even go into his childhood and everything that led to him becoming the music superstar that he is. Like, they just addressed it briefly at the beginning of the movie. And then after that, you'll see a text saying, like, against all odds, he became a huge star. And then we cut forward to him already being a star. And then him and his band getting together and putting together the Exodus album. And that's one thing I do like about this movie is you actually do see the process of them making the music and getting the music just right and them experimenting with the music. And I just love how positive Bob Marley was as a person. I love how positive his music is and just how positive this movie was trying to be because like I said, the movie, it does showcase the political chaos that Jamaica is in at the time and how Bob Marley, he is struggling with himself, trying to figure out, should I do this or should I not? Especially after his family was threatened. And despite all the fame that he got, he still doesn't know whether or not he's doing the right thing. And then once he is basically on death's door, he wants to leave a positive impact. And that's something that's very inspirational. I do have a couple of gripes about this movie because, like I said, just like Bohemian Rhapsody before it, this movie does lead to a big concert at the end. And you remember in Bohemian Rhapsody, it led to the Live Aid concert, which was a highlight in that movie. And in this movie, they do show the peace concert, but they don't really show it. Like, they don't showcase it. They just lead to it, and then that's when the movie ends, and then they show footage from the actual event, which is cool and all, but at the same time, I just would have loved to see that final show, because it would have made us look forward to something in the movie, and people would have left the movie just a little bit more impacted. I will say, though, there are times where the Jamaican accents were hard to comprehend at times. And I really mean it. Like, there are times where they got super Jamaican to the point where I'm just like, all right, I could really use subtitles right now. But regardless, I'm not going to take away points just because I can't understand Jamaican accents fully. But Kingsley Ben-Adir, he was great as Bob Marley. Like, when I was watching this movie, I did not see the actor. I felt like I was actually watching Bob Marley because he actually became Bob Marley. Now, granted, it's a lot more easier for young up-and-coming actors to disappear into a role because the public doesn't really know about them. But while he has that advantage, it definitely worked. Lashana Lynch plays Rita, who is his wife in the movie, and I gotta say, this is probably one of, if not the best role I've seen her in. She definitely does some heavy lifting in this movie because she is his wife, she's also in the band, and she is also his confidant within the band. And whoever the costume design and hairstylist is in this movie, shout out to y'all because she was looking fine as hell in this movie. Now, don't get me wrong, Lashana Lynch, I always thought she was beautiful, but just here, they made it a point. I think the only other gripe I have about this movie is that Even though it's not your typical biographical film, I still wish they could have gone just a little bit in more depth on his career. But hey, that's what happens when the family is on set trying to make sure that they do their daddy justice, because Ziggy Marley was on set making sure that they were representing his father correctly, which you should, but at the same time, it could also be a detriment to the film, both for better and worse. But regardless, I walked away from this film having enjoyed myself and knowing just a little bit more about Bob Marley than I ever did. And even though they didn't go in depth into his career, I feel like I still got everything I needed to know about this man and about his music. I'm going to give Bob Marley One Love the thumbs up emoji.